Coming up on Carolina News, Lexington fire aftermath. We have the latest on the house fire that killed 4 people, including what caused those deaths. Swinging into action, Finley Park is undergoing new improvements. We'll tell you what to expect in the newly renovated park. And today is National Puppy Day, and one businessman is giving new opportunities to disabled dogs. All of that and more on Carolina News.
Live from the capital city, Carolina News brings you your news first. With breaking news and in-depth reporting. Up-to-the-minute weather. And all your sports news and highlights. It's all here, now, on Carolina News.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Carino.
Welcome to Carolina News. I'm Brewer Owen.
There are new developments in the Lexington house fire that killed 4 people on Monday. Earlier this week, we reported that Lexington County and SLED are investigating that fire. Well, today, Carolina News reporter Brandon Knapp is live in the newsroom with the results of that investigation. Brandon?
That's right, Alex. The Lexington County coroner announced today that it was carbon monoxide poisoning from the fire that killed 4 members of the Kelly family. The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division has completed their investigation into the deadly fire, but they are leaving the cause as undetermined. SLED did say, however, that there is no evidence of suspicious or criminal activity associated with the incident. The fire killed Amanda and Scott Kelly, as well as 2 of their 4 children. The 2 other children and their grandmother were able to escape the flames. And as for them, their neighbor created a GoFundMe page dedicated to raising money to support them during this surely trying time. A candlelight vigil will be held for the family tonight at 7:30 in front of the Brooklyn and Casey High School. Funeral arrangements have not yet been announced.
And now we go to the United Kingdom, where ISIS has claimed responsibility for the terrorist attack that left 4 dead on Wednesday afternoon. Reports say the alleged terrorist drove his car into pedestrians near the British Parliament.
More than 20 people were also injured. Jessica Jose is in the newsroom with the latest on the attack. Jessica?
2 pedestrians, 1 an American citizen, were killed along with the police officer and the attacker. Those identities have now been released. 8 arrests have also been made in connection with the deadly attack, the city's worst in 12 years. Police are increasing their presence in London after the city's largest attack since 2005. 4 people died as a result, including U.S. citizen Kurt Cochran from Utah, police officer Keith Palmer, and Aisha Frade, a teacher in the British area. Police shot and killed the attacker, 55-year-old Khalid Massoud, who ISIS called a, quote, soldier of the Islamic State. An ISIS-affiliated news agency has taken responsibility for the attack. Massoud crashed into the victims on the Westminster Bridge near the British Parliament building, which the Prime Minister believes was intentional.
The location of this attack was no accident. The terrorists chose to strike at the heart of our capital city, where people of all nationalities, religions and cultures come together to celebrate the values of liberty, democracy and freedom of speech.
Safety continues to be an issue for those visiting as well. Stephen Pallas is the brother of one of our reporters and is now studying abroad in London. He says that he still feels safe despite Wednesday's events.
It was immediate shock and confusion when we heard that what was going on. And then when it happens, it kind of hits you a little differently, and it's crazy because I've been in that exact spot before, but where it happened.
Police are continuing to try and make citizens feel safe again. The University of South Carolina also has students studying in London. I reached out to the USC Study Abroad office to see if they have given students any precautions, but no one got back to me. Their website does provide general safety information for those traveling. Back to you all in the studio.
The U.S. Department of Treasury is investigating the finances of President Donald Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort. A new AP report claims that Manafort secretly worked for a Russian billionaire to benefit the government. According to that report, Manafort received millions of dollars from Russian billionaire and close associate of Vladimir Putin, Oleg Deripaska, before working on the Trump campaign. Manafort was under contract with the billionaire for consulting work that would, according to his own words, greatly benefit the Putin government. The report comes just one day after FBI Director James Comey publicly announced that the Trump campaign is under FBI investigation because of its ties to Russia.
Our weather reporter Michelle Zhu is out by USC's greenhouse. Michelle, we saw temperatures get to the 80s early this week, but I'm still wearing a jacket again today. What can we expect to come?
Well, it is a little chilly out here. We woke up this morning to temperatures in the mid-40s, and it really hasn't gotten much warmer. But on the bright side, the skies are really clear right now. Temperatures will be dipping a little bit cooler tonight, but that will be quickly changing. I'll have details for you later in the show.
A bill that would require South Carolina residents to provide more than just their driver's license when flying is on its way back to the House for revision. This bill could cause an inconvenience to travelers, even when flying domestically. Carolina News reporter Matt Hogan finds out what the bill could mean for you.
Flying could become more of a hassle for South Carolina residents. Thursday, the South Carolina Senate had their third reading of the Real ID bill. The bill will bring South Carolina driver's license into line with federal law, meaning your current ID would allow you to go through TSA. However, if the bill does not pass by January 22, 2018, South Carolina residents would have to bring other types of federal identification. South Carolina resident Katie Fox says if the bill does not pass, these extra steps might create inconveniences for travelers.
I would maybe be more likely to support it. Right now it just seems like making everyone do one more step in order to maintain the level of productivity they currently have.
The Real ID bill was first introduced in 2005 by the 9/11 Commission. It was meant to make sure the travelers were the person their ID said they were, but it was not adopted by South Carolina. Chief of Strategic Communication for the South Carolina Department of Motor Vehicles, Lauren Phillips, says if changes don't come soon, South Carolinians will need to adapt.
If everything stood as it does today, then on January 22nd, 2018, you would have to use some other form of identification to get past a TSA checkpoint at airports across the nation.
However, Phillips assures South Carolina driver's licenses are still valuable.
So it's important to remember that your South Carolina driver's license is always going to allow you the privilege to drive. It's going to allow you to vote. You can access hospitals. This is a federal law that only affects federal facilities.
For now, South Carolina residents will have to wait and see what their representatives vote on. Matt Hogan, Carolina News.
For more information involving the bill, you can visit scstatehouse.gov.
Reverend Michael Baker, a pastor at Greater St. Luke Baptist Church in Columbia, was released from jail yesterday. Baker was charged with third-degree domestic violence stemming from a March 16th incident where Baker shoved his estranged wife to the floor. And 4 days later, he changed the locks to their house to keep her from getting her stuff. His judge ordered Baker to stay 1,000 yards from his wife. Baker also serves as the chaplain to the Richland County Sheriff's Department and the Columbia Police Department. A mobile recovery office will open in Orangeburg County to help those who have applied for housing recovery due to the October 2015 flood. The mobile offices will serve one county a day at 3 different locations. The center will be open Monday through Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Branchville Town Hall on Freedom Road. The deadline to apply for this program is April 30th. Dorchester, Florence, and Charleston will also have offices. For more information, you can visit www.scstormrecovery.com.
Coastal Carolina University says they have lost more than $1 million due to fraud. The university learned of the theft when a company claimed they were never paid. Someone claiming to be a company under contract with the university requested a change in the company's bank account information. The transaction included over $800,000 the university discovered. A previous theft had also been made of over $300,000. Coastal has since changed its operating procedures.
Last year, the City of Columbia removed the only playground at Finley Park due to safety issues. Some complained that the playground had fallen apart and that Columbia's children needed a safer place to play. Braley Johnson reports on what the city is planning to do to bring families back to Finley.
For most kids, Playgrounds like this one here at Riverfront Park are what makes parks fun. For 5-year-old Jewels Johnson, the best things about playgrounds are
swing and do and go on a walkie bus.
Jewels and his friends usually come here to Finley Park. Last year, the City of Columbia removed the playground due to safety concerns, leaving a vacant spot in the middle of the park and kids without much to do.
Now the kids don't have anything to play with.
Valencia Johnson is the mother of Jewels and says that the park not having a playground has made people stop going.
A lot of people don't know, so when they come, they bring the kids and it's nothing here.
But this abandoned spot won't be empty for much longer. The Columbia Parks and Recreation Department wants to take a playground like this one and build it in this spot at Columbia's Finley Park. Finley Park has had the reputation of not being family friendly in the past, but the city hopes to change that. Todd Martin is the City of Columbia's park planner and says that the playground is something that the city needs.
The City of Columbia needs that gym that we currently we don't have.
The new playground will have some traditional equipment, but will also have a rope climbing wall and a musical play area with chimes and drums. Though Johnson was concerned about how safe the playground is going to be, Martin says that they designed it with safety in mind.
It'll definitely be updated to standard code, whereas the old one was outdated. So the playground itself should be extremely safe.
The playground is set to open in July of this year so that Finley Park can be fun again. Braley Johnson, Carolina News.
City officials are also planning to build a bigger playground on the hillside at Finley. The plans for that playground are still being created, but officials hope to have it open within the next 5 years. You know, a park without a playground doesn't sound like it's going to attract too many families with kids. They probably need to put that up.
Yeah, glad they're going to have a much safer place to play in just a short while.
Absolutely.
Great. And coming up, we've heard plenty of debate about medical marijuana, but what do experts actually know about it? We'll take you into the laboratory next.
I believe that home is where your pet is.
And that loving an animal means never giving up on them, never letting them go.
I believe that when you spay or neuter your pets, you help decrease the number of homeless animals.
Because every dog and cat deserves a place to call home.
I believe that I found my best friend at a shelter. And you can too.
We believe that together with Best Friends Animal Society,
we can bring about a time when there are no more homeless pets.
Visit ambassadors.bestfriends.org.
My limit is 2, and I always make sure to eat something.
If I'm out for several hours, my limit is 3.
I know my limit is 1.
Until I'm 21, my limit is always 0.
Alcohol affects people differently, but the legal limit is .08 for everyone over 21. In order to be safe and stay well below the legal limit, it's important to know your limits and know the law. To find out more, go to responsiblelimits.com.
The medical marijuana debate rages on at the State House, but research on medical usage of the plant has been going on just across town for years. Andrea Esselman takes you out of the State House and into the lab to show you the results coming out of the research.
The USC School of Medicine is turning out some interesting finds about medical marijuana. They are looking not at the whole plant, but at compounds derived from the plant that can be used to treat cancer and autoimmune diseases. Dr. Prakash Nagarkati runs this lab and is the vice president for research at USC. He has spent 17 years studying compounds derived from marijuana called cannabinoids, and has shown these compounds are produced in our own bodies to help our immune systems function.
So it occurred to us that maybe a significant number of diseases are triggered by deficiencies in the cannabinoids that we produce, and so therefore when somebody takes marijuana plant, for example, maybe that is reconstituting the deficiency of the cannabinoids that we produce.
Current treatments for autoimmune diseases often destroy bone marrow, which keeps the body from being able to produce red blood cells and healthy immune system cells. Dr. Nagarkati shows cannabinoids from marijuana do not have this effect.
Cannabinoids are not toxic to the bone marrow, so the bone marrow can keep on regenerating the immune cells as well as the red blood cells.
Nagarkati believes it's time people had access to the relief his years of research has proven exists.
People who are healthy should not be depriving people who are, have diseases and have no other treatment modalities to to use the marijuana plant that is given to them by Mother Nature, to try to see that they don't suffer from these debilitating diseases.
Marijuana remains classified as a Schedule I drug, and Dr. Nagarkati advocates for legalizing it so that further research can continue unhindered. Andrea Esselman, Carolina News.
Dr. Nagarkati spoke with the Senate Medical Affairs Committee early this month about his research. His talks and more information is available on the South Carolina State House Video Archive.
A big name in the Gamecock family joined co-hosts on Good Morning America this morning. Men's head basketball coach Frank Martin talked about making Gamecock history. He also discussed talking to his team during halftime. He said coaches are usually depicted throwing chairs and yelling during halftime, but he takes a different approach.
Our guys were so nervous. We were missing shots early in the game. And I said, just relax. Somebody have courage and make one shot. And it's going to relax everybody.
Coach Martin also received a big surprise on the air when he was joined by his wife and presented with a birthday cake. And the new wave of sports is here. The athletes are seated and their eyes are glued on the TV screen. Our Carolina News reporter Terrence Singleton has more on the booming business of esports.
Log gets sniped by the other high. Look at it go all in. Finds Lon. Destroys him almost in the backline.
The evolution of gaming. Esports like League of Legends and Super Smash Bros. Have turned gaming into a real business. And Robert Haynes, president of the Game House, a sport and esport website, explains why esports are so profitable.
People who were normally considered, nerds or, people who weren't going anywhere because all you did was play video games. And that culture is clearly not true, and it's giving those people hope that there's something that that they're really good at, that they could be get paid for and be on a big stage for.
Even though esports has only been around since 1999, Newzoo.com, a website dedicated to covering the growth of esports, expects their global revenue to surpass $1 billion by 2019. But why are people so interested?
The biggest draw is probably the fact that it is such a fast-paced form of entertainment, and the more fast-paced it is, the more exciting I think it is for more people.
Michael Avosa is your average gamer who loves to watch and play video games. He even tossed me the controller, and like most, Michael sees gaming as an escape.
I think esports has become a lot more exciting for people to watch. It's just a true escape from reality, and I know for me, it's the thing I go to when I want to unwind at the end of a bad day or something like that, is I go and I watch Let's Players, or I watch esports take place online.
The 2016 League of Legends World Championship game, the type of game you see right now, had 36 million viewers, 5 million more than 2016's Game 7 of the NBA Finals. But is esports here to stay, or will it fade away?
I think esports is definitely here to stay because they've shown me that they're willing to change, they're willing to adapt to what the fans want.
It's kind of, in my opinion, it's the next wave of major sports that'll stick around.
Esports has come a long way in its 18-year history, and it does not seem to be slowing down anytime soon. Terrence Singleton, Carolina News.
If you're interested in watching esports, you can open up your laptop and go straight to twitch.tv and watch all of the fast-paced video action.
It was a bit of a chilly day today, but Michelle, are we going to have some better weather this weekend?
I'm still out here by the greenhouse. I'm catching a nice breeze here in the shade. The weather will be taking a quick turnaround. Might need to grab a light rain jacket. I'll have all this coming up next.
Never look a howler monkey in the eye.
Fried ants are delicious.
We finished a clinic in a rainstorm.
Really?
That was a confidence builder.
My students actually ended up teaching me.
Yeah. In La Keg, à la King.
Think managing a sales team is tough. Try working with 5 different villages. My alarm clock was a rooster. After 2 months, I was ready to quit, but after 2 years, I didn't want to leave.
I didn't know I had it in me.
Turn 2 years of service into a lifetime of experience.
On Wednesday, Twain Harte, California was hit by severe winds, leaving many trees uprooted. The residents experienced a microburst of winds, according to the National Weather Service. A microburst occurs when a rotating thunderstorm collapses. Winds are as high as 105 miles per hour. And now look at all the damages: uprooted trees on top of houses and trees knocked down all over the California neighborhood. That's some crazy video right there.
Yeah, fallen trees and snow, that's no fun right there.
I've never seen anything like it, but we're looking at better weather than that, I hope.
Yes, definitely not winds as extreme as that they experienced in California. But let's take a look at what's going on currently in Colombia. Winds are only blowing at 7 miles per hour east. Temperatures are sitting at 61 degrees, not too extreme, and humidity is sitting at 22%. So currently in Colombia, temperatures across the state are either in the 50s or 60s, 61 in Colombia, 58 in Greenville, 60 across the coast. Why is this going on? We've had a high come in from the East Coast. It's coming from the north, and that is bringing the cool temperatures that you're feeling today. And right above Tennessee, you see this area of rain, but that we won't have to worry about that because that will keep moving up north. But over here in the west coast, you'll see systems of warm pressures and low areas coming in and creating eventually a storm system. We'll see more of that later in the week, but by the time tomorrow hits, we'll see that high has moved off the coast, bringing out those cool temperatures that we're feeling. And like I said, that low coming off the west coast will have formed that storm system, and we'll be seeing that closer to Friday, and we'll be experiencing storms throughout the weekend. But take a look at tomorrow. Sorry for the technical errors, but tomorrow we'll be experiencing higher temperatures than today, 74 in Columbia, but tonight's lows will get down in the 40s once again, sitting at 54 in Hilton Head, a low of 37 in Rock Hill. But take a look at that 5-day forecast. The sun will be going away by the time Saturday hits, and those thunderstorms will be coming in on Sunday, 30% chance, and we'll be experiencing that throughout the weekend, so pack your rain jacket.
Yeah, well, some Friday sunshine might give us a chance to celebrate our Sweet 16 victory.
Absolutely. Hope so. We'll see.
Hope so. Still to come on Carolina News this evening, the United States had a chance to win something they've never done before on the baseball diamond. We'll tell you if they won or not next.
Adopt a dog, adopt a big dog, unless you have a small apartment. But if you have a little grass, get off your ass. Adopt a dog, adopt a dog, adopt a big dog, and you will have a bigger friend. Adopt a dog, adopt a big dog, give him a home he can defend. Ooh.
You know, all the talk in Columbia has been on March Madness and basketball, but there was some pretty big news on the baseball diamond last night.
Yeah, a lot of people were focused on the international stage with the World Baseball Classic. And the tournament has been going on since early March, and last night the United States found themselves in a position to win their first WBC title. Here we go, Puerto Rico and the U.S. in the finals in Los Angeles. Top of the third inning with Ian Kinsler up to bat for the U.S. Got one man on first, wham! It's headed to the wall. Is it going to make it? Yes, sir. That'll be USA's first run of the game. Let's head to the final inning. The United States just needs one more out. Carlos Carrera grounds one to third, and they'll throw it to first for the final out. The United States was just too much for Puerto Rico, and they win 8-0 to go on to win their first ever World Baseball Classic championship. Let's head over to Founders Park, where South Carolina takes on Charleston Southern. We'll head straight to the fifth inning as we remain scoreless, and we have runners on the corners. Hunter Taylor swings and knocks one out to center field, and that'll be a sacrifice fly as Tolbert takes it home, and that's the Gamecocks' first run of the game. Soon after, it's Alex Destino at bat who hits a grounder out to left field, and that'll bring in Madison Stokes. This would be a 3-run inning for South Carolina and the only run scored by either team all game. The Gamecocks beat the Bucks by a final of 3-0. How sweet it is both the men and women's basketball teams here at USC are in the Sweet 16 in the same season for the first time in program history. We're joined with Brian Principe, our sports analyst. Brian, what can the Gamecocks men's team expect Friday when they go to New York City?
Well, they get the Baylor Bears, and the Bears are a very defensive-minded team, top 20 team in the nation defensively. They play the 2-3 zone, and guys like Joe Lual-Alchuil, who's a 7-footer for Baylor, will make things difficult on guys like Mike Kotsar and Chris Silva. They'll have to be big like they were in the Duke game. And conversely, for South Carolina on offense, can they continue on that 59-point-per-game clip in the second half we saw in Greenville? Outstanding.
Yeah, and they got to keep up with that momentum on defense, too. I know in the last game, Coach K did mention in the press conference after losing to South Carolina, that was the best physical defense they played all season. So if they keep going with that, I think that will help them out when they play Baylor and maybe advance to the Elite Eight. But we're going to go ahead and transition to the California game with the women's team as they play Quinnipiac. What can we expect with that?
Well, South Carolina is not at 100%. Lana Coates won't play. Alicia Gray will play after the injury scare, but we'll have to see how much 100% she's at. And for South Carolina, can women like Ty Harris, who's a freshman point guard who's been incredible in the first 2 games, can she continue on that, and can they get the bench production we've seen to continue riding that wave?
We'll see how both games play out. It'll be interesting. I know Brian and I will be up in New York City to provide coverage for the men's basketball tournament. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at USC Carolina News. And maybe they'll advance to the Elite Eight.
You never know. You can't count them out now.
March Madness. All right, we're going to go ahead and send it back to Alex and Brewer back at the desk.
So Friday's the men's game. If they win that, it'll be Sunday, which will be the Elite Eight matchup. And then if they win that, I believe we're going to need some credentials for the Final Four.
I definitely think we need to go to that. How are you feeling about the game?
I'm excited. Definitely a positive outlook, but I'm a little bit biased.
Yeah, a little bit, but all right. And today is National Puppy Day. See how one man is giving handicapped dogs a better life after the break.
Are you getting this, honey?
Oh, prime time. We are rolling.
All right, Mama's gonna bring it home. Mama's gonna bring it home. Okay.
Come on, watch this guy.
Oh, backwards.
Oh, don't. Oh.
It went into Bob and Carol's yard. Oh, no? Okay, here it comes.
Oh, Mom!
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
All right, let's see what you can do. Let's go.
They might surprise you. Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
National Puppy Day is a great way to bring awareness to helping disabled dogs. Just take a look at this video. A business in Massachusetts called Eddie's Wheels for Pets makes wheelchairs for dogs and other animals that can't walk on their own.
You feel like you're changing the world, and you get to see really sad animals walk in and really happy animals walk out. So at the end of the day, you can't feel bad about that.
Each wheelchair is custom made for the specific animal, and they don't just help disabled dogs. The company also helps sheep, goats, pigs, and alpacas to have a better life.
Alpacas.
What a story, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen an alpaca on wheels?
I would like to. There'd be a fast-moving alpaca.
Great story to feature today.
It really is. It's a good one. And how's our weather looking one last time?
Well, let's take a look at the 5-day forecast one more time. Tomorrow is the last day for the sun to be fully out, sitting at 74 degrees. As we progress through the weekend, the temperatures will be getting a little higher each day. The clouds will come out on Saturday for a partly cloudy day. Lows sitting at 49, and they'll progress throughout the week. So we can look forward to warm temperatures, but take out your rain jacket, because we'll have some rain.
Looks like some perfect basketball weather to cheer on our Gamecocks. Yeah. And that's all the time we have today. Thanks so much for being with us.
See you tomorrow, and have a great evening.